Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. The international break is over, the transfer window is over, and there is no football for 2 weeks, which is a bit shit, but not to worry, ladies and gentlemen, not to worry, because we have some very, very interesting hot takes on Manchester United. I've got quite a few ready to go that I'm going to put on the screen and stuff. But, of course, live hot takes are always good as well. So, even if you're watching later on, even if you're watching on YouTube and you're not watching this live, get your hot takes in the comments section and I will react to it. Whatever it is, even if it's football-based, it could be that you have pineapple on pizza. If you want to go as far as to do that, that's not a hot take in my opinion because I have pineapple on pizza. But get your hot takes in, we'll react to them and we'll discuss them together. Let's just go. Obviously, for people who are on TikTok, you won't see the hot takes on the screen that I put on. But if you want to join us on YouTube, then the link is in the bio. Should we go for the first one, people? Let's have a look who submitted a hot take. So, good old Brian Casey, who has been a Real Red Ultra for a long, long time. He's got his own channel as well. Make sure you go check that out. Has put, Ruben Amorim will win a trophy at Man United before Arteta wins a trophy at Arsenal. Interesting. We said hot takes. Obviously, that is, I'm sure there's a lot of Arsenal fans who listen to that going, shut up, what you on about? What you on about, mate? You don't know what you're talking about. But in reality, I could genuinely see this happening. A lot of people would have said the same thing when Erik ten Hag walked through the door. They would have been like, oh, we're never winning a trophy before Arteta. Well, we all know what happened then, don't we? However, one thing I will kind of cushion this with a little bit is, for me now, this season, I want to see progression in the league rather than just winning trophies, because we've proven we can win trophies. We're proving we can be a quote-unquote tournament team. I don't want to be just winning. Obviously, I want to be winning trophies, but I don't want to be winning, let's say, a Carabao Cup or another FA Cup every other year if we keep finishing 15th in the league consistently. That is not something that I want, because we've been a tournament team for way too long. I want to be consistent in the league. I want to be competing near the top with some of the big boys, and I want to be getting to Champions League football and all that kind of stuff. So that's my main priority for me. Obviously, it's not going to be a Carabao Cup simply because we've been knocked out of it by fucking Grimsby. So that's not going to happen. And then it's not going to be the Premier League because we're way off in that regards. So then the only cup you've actually got is the FA Cup. So I'm almost like talking myself out of it a little bit. But yeah, I just don't see Amorim. I don't see Arteta winning the trophy. If he's going to win one, it's got to be this season. If he does not win a trophy this season or win the league, I don't know where you go as an Arsenal fan. I can't speak on behalf of them, but it's been 5-6 years now since he's won one. Like, what else could you possibly do? I mean, he's spent £1 billion, is it? Or close to like 900 million quid. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know how long he's got left. I thought their performances against Liverpool were very interesting, very pragmatic from the start, which is, if you come away from Anfield with a point, laughing, absolutely fine, nothing wrong with that, sound. If you set up to go for a draw, you take the point home. If you set up for a draw and then you lose, that's the worst case scenario. And then you look at those kind of fixtures towards the end of the season, you're like, well, if they'd been a little bit more ambitious in certain games, they might have got the trophy over the line. But they didn't. So Amorim to win a trophy before Arteta is definitely a hot take. What do we think about that? Get it in the comments section. I'm not actually sure if you can comment there. Is that Q&A? Let me end that Q&A. And then let's just put, yeah, there we go. We can go to the comments then. Rayan is saying Arteta will be sacked at the end of the season for no silverware again. So as long as Amorim survives, then this take is valid. £1 billion to play Tony Pulis football is a sackable offence in itself. Oh, God. Yeah. Pressure's on for Arteta, but equally the pressure's on for Ruben Amorim as well. So let's move it on to the next hot take that we've got lined up on the screen. And this is from T2 the Izzo, another one who's a regular on the channel. Big up T2, absolute legend. Saying Marinakis will, I love this hot take, by the way. Marinakis will end up as manager of Nottingham Forest for at least a few games this season. Gyokeres will flop hard. Now let's dissect this because there's 2 hot takes in there. You cheeky boy, T2. What are you doing? I think this is a brilliant shout, to be honest with you. If there is going to be an owner who does something mad like that, it's going to be Nottingham Forest's owner. This boy is crazy. This is a guy who's, I think, had a spitting in a stadium ban or something ridiculous. You remember when he got beat against Fulham? I think he was found with improper conduct. There was like some officials kind of walking past and he spat on the ground, which he got done for. He got a 5-match stadium ban for that. He got caught, I think, attacking VAR on social media. That was another thing as well, criticising Stuart Atwell. On just loads of mad shit like that. He had that on the pitch confrontation with Nuno Espirito as well, where it was like in front of camera doing a bit of a pep tactic, just grilling the manager on camera, which I'm sure Nuno really didn't appreciate. There was stuff with UEFA in the blind trust arrangements, this loophole. I think he got rid of his shares into a blind trust or something, so he wouldn't get. I don't know what it was. I don't know the specifics of it, but he's just done bare mad shit. He got accused of match fixing in Greece with one of his clubs over there. There was a load of Europa League controversy with Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest. And then he was banning Gary Neville from the stadium as well, wasn't he? So, yeah, I don't know. The guy is just an absolute nutcase. And if anyone's going to do it, if anyone's going to play Football Manager and do it, he will probably take it upon himself and go, do you know what, I'll do it. In his head, genuinely, he probably thinks he could do a better job. Genuinely, I honestly believe that. He probably thinks he's better than most managers in his head. And obviously he's wildly ambitious, and that could be a benefit for the club at times. And the money that they've spent, he's certainly invested in the club as well. They had a great finish last season, tailored off a little bit towards the end. But yeah, he's a bit of a mad one, isn't he? I certainly wouldn't like him at my club, but then again, I've got the Glazers at Man United, so what can I say? In regards to Gyokeres being a flop, look, not everyone has to agree. I think with the players around Gyokeres, Eze, Ødegaard, Zubamende, Sesko, you should be scoring bare minimum 15 to 20 goals, in my opinion. That's absolute bare minimum. Even in like all competitions, 15 to 20 goals. I think he'll be a decent level of striker for him, but I don't think it'll be nothing overly special. I don't think he'll be putting in Haaland numbers or Mohamed Salah numbers. I think it'll be more kind of Watkins, Visser kind of range, maybe a little bit more. It's going to take time to adapt. I mean, we're only 3 games in. I've got people grilling me for Sesko, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I mean, the kid's played like fucking 90 minutes of football, and people are already saying he's not good enough. So this is the Premier League for you. You get judged literally. I remember the first game against United where we nullified him quite well. I think Delit had a good game against him. He had the odd moments where he did something good. But it didn't look the best, and then instantly, straight after, you know what Arsenal fans are like, oh, he's a flop, he's crap, not going to work out. Went and scored 2 against Leeds the next week, and everyone's like, oh, he's here, and they're all doing the celebration across the face and stuff. So football's very fickle, and opinions can change very quickly. I think it'll be decent, but again, it's all depending. I was speaking about how pragmatic Arteta was being with his team. It all depends on how he is, how he's setting up, what players are on the pitch. If I was there, I'd just fucking go for it in some of the games. He's proven time after time after time he's been way too pragmatic in the big games, and it's cost him by the end of the season. So it depends on him. Let's see what happens with Victor Gyokeres. What do we think, people? Let me go to the chat in YouTube. £1 billion to play. Oh, sorry, I've already read that. Lumen saying big up as well. Big up to you, sir. Always a regular in the chat. If anyone else has any hot takes on TikTok, get them in. They don't have to be football related, of course, but it's more of a kind of preference. Next one on the screen. So there's 2 here. One is Benjamin Sesko will score 15 or more goals, which is, I think, is it a hot take? I mean, you've got to expect that, haven't you? For someone you've paid 65, 70 million for, whatever it was. I think he probably will. Are you talking all competitions? Are you talking in the league? I don't know. I think he's had a bit of a slow start. I have liked him to get a goal, of course. But I think it was reported that he didn't have any or a lot of minutes since April or something. So he isn't match fit. There was a load of situation made about the penalty shootout against Grimsby that he took the 9th penalty and he's the striker. What is he doing? And then Ruben Amorim came out and said that he had bad cramp, which is why he didn't take it, which some people buy that, some people don't. I took it on face value, what Ruben Amorim said, and I was like, fair enough. If he's cramping up really bad, do you necessarily want him taking a penalty? But I've not been a striker in that situation before. I don't know myself I've had cramp before. So I know it affects you, but to that level of extent, I'm not entirely sure. But people are jumping on my back already because I was bigging up Benjamin Sesko before he even joined the club. I've been speaking about Sesko for years. And now he's joined the club. I'm happy. But the first couple of games have been a little bit, steady. And we want a little bit more. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Will he get 15 goals? I think 10 to 15. I mean, he's shown on average, to be fair, in the German league that he gets between that 13, 14 goals a season, something like that. Obviously, the Premier League is slightly different, but I think he'll get a safe bet 10 to 15. And people will say, well, that's not a good enough return for someone that you spent that much money on. But you got to think as a project striker, years away from his prime, and he's got assets in his game. That's, you look at his leap, you look at his pace, you look at his strength, you look at his height, you look at the way he strikes a ball. I think there's a special player there, and I think he could be one of the very best. But patience. You need patience and time. Dave saying Isaac to be a flop, Ekitike will stand out more. Now, that is the kind of hot take that I am looking for, Dave. Wow. Yeah, 130 million on Isaac. I think Isaac's the best striker in the Premier League, in my opinion. I think he's better than Haaland. I think Haaland obviously always gets the goals, but as a more complete striker, I would prefer an Isaac in my team. Again, people might think that's a hot take in itself. But I think he's going to murder it at Liverpool. I can't go against that, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't go with that. I think Isaac's going to be incredible for him. The only thing I'll say about Isaac is he is injury prone a little bit. I think he's missed like a season's worth of games since signing for Newcastle. I'm sure I read that somewhere. 30-odd games that he's missed. So maybe that's why Ekitike is there as well. If he goes out, you've got someone who's clearly capable, because I think Ekitike started off like a rocket. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think he'll do well, but I appreciate the hot take. Was I finished with Sesko? I think I was finished with Sesko. Will he start in the derby as well? That's another question that I'll leave you with. Let me know. Comment section. Next up, what have we got? United. Well, oh no, sorry. I missed one. We are winning the derby. That was another one, and then I'll get onto the other one in a second. Man United to win the derby against Man City. It's happened before. We can be playing. This is the thing about this club, right? This is why it takes you in such like an emotional roller coaster at times, because we can be playing the worst football you've ever seen on this God-given earth, and we can still beat big teams. I remember the form. Going into Anfield last season, we'd been beat off Newcastle, Wolves, Forest, we've been utterly shit. But within that period, we beat Man City, Ahmad scoring in the last minute, and then we went to Anfield and probably should have won with that Maguire chance at the end, and played just as well as them. So it wouldn't surprise me. I think the narrative then would be very, very interesting if Man United beat City, because I think we'd go 4 points ahead in the league. We're already above them in the league. That would be Man City on 3 or 4 points themselves after 4 games, after they've just, this new revolution with Tijani Reinders and Ryan Cherky and Aid Norin and these players, and still not at it. I think if that was United on the flip side of things, we'd get just an absolute pile on from the media. But with Pep, it's like, oh, well, to be fair, he's got credit in the bank. He's won 4 in a row, he's Centurion, etc., blah, blah, blah. So I'm really interested to see. Even if we take a draw away, even if we go to the Etihad and get a draw, I'm interested to see how the media is going to play that out between both clubs. But again, it would not surprise me. It's more of a fact that you look at some of the other games around that. Chelsea, I think, will be a very difficult game. I think they look really good. They're top of the league at the minute. But then it's the games after that, like Brentford and Sunderland's, the one you almost expect to beat. We don't. They're the ones, weirdly enough, that I'm more worried about. And I don't know, you can't explain it as a United fan. We just do mad things in big games. And I think a lot of the times it's due to, because we were a lot better in the transition. So when we play the bigger teams, you'd have more space in behind that you can run into. And that was a huge factor, especially under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. At Ten Hag at times, you look at transitional moments where we'd kill teams. And then against the teams that were sitting a low block and just frustrate you, always very organised, we'd struggle. So, yeah, I mean, if City keep playing the way, if Pep doesn't tweak anything, I think you can get at him. I think with players like Brian and Mbeumo, if Cunha gets back, you got Sesko there as well. Ahmad, Bruno, I mean, you can really kill that team if everyone's on it. But it's a big ask. We'll wait and see for that. We'll have the preview next week for the Manchester derby, because, of course, we don't play until next weekend because it's an international break. And I hate the international break. Can't stand it. So, yeah, appreciate that shout. Next up, we've got more people in the chat. What we're saying, people? Amorim to win a trophy. That's from Tubes the Down. He's putting laughing faces. But the main thing was Amorim to win a trophy before Arteta. So that Amorim could win a trophy in the next 4 years if Arteta's still there, and it would still be the same point. You understand? Sesko will just break into double digits, in my opinion, and I do see us winning the derby. City have genuinely fallen off a cliff. Tesco way out of his depth. John Long saying rim job couldn't win a raffle. The div. Arteta top 2 focus, bottom of the league, brother. Rim job is a nickname apparently. Is that for Ruben Amorim? I'm not sure. I don't know, mate. Listen, you may have won the game. You may have won the game when we played yours, but we was the far better team. And that's embarrassing for a team who finished 15th last season. Embarrassing. And also, even in our banter period, we still won way more trophies in the last 5 years. So clock that down. Sesko should destroy the City defence with his speed. He has to start. I agree. And a derby win puts us 4 points ahead of City, and City have Arsenal away after. Could be something special. Hey, there we go. Right. Keep them rolling. What's next up on the screen? United will finish in the top 7. Because of the injuries, as good as he is, Lissandro will lose his spot to Lenny Yoro. So let's tackle the top 7 finish first. This is tricky because Man United. I've seen things in the performances. So against Arsenal, like I've just referenced, I thought we was really good. Then against Fulham, I thought we was maybe the better team, but there were still signs of what we saw from last season. Then we lose to Grimsby. Then we beat Burnley. So it's really like that. You don't know. There's too many inconsistencies for me for United to finish in the top 7. I predicted it at the start of the season because I got pushed towards it. I got nudged towards it. I was going to say between 8th and 10th. Which is, saying it as a United fan, it is embarrassing, but you've got to look at the reality here. We are still... even with the players that we had on the pitch against Grimsby, you should be absolutely plastering them. And we got beat convincingly, and it was the much better team. And even when I was at Old Trafford for Burnley on the weekend, and watching that game, again, we play in periods. We play really well, so first 45 minutes, and this was a habit of Ollie's as well, and Ten Hag sometimes, we play really well for 20 minutes, 45 minutes, and then there'd be a huge drop-off. And you don't understand why. Is it fitness? Is it just... And I don't even think it is fitness. I think it's more of like a mental thing. I think that the players like Dallo, for example, there'll be times on the pitch when I'm watching Dallo, and he gets the ball played into him, and he just lets it run. It goes under his foot, or it goes out for a throw-in. What the fuck? You're a professional footballer, man. You're getting paid hundreds and thousands of pounds per week, and you can't do the basic fundamentals in football. And Onana is fucking critical for that. Dallo's critical for that. We have players in the team who can do that, who just... Yeah, even the fringe players is way too much of a drop-off for me. Luckily, we haven't got Europe this season, so we've just got the league to focus on, and then the FA Cup when that comes in January. But I think we're way too inconsistent to finish in the top 7. So, yeah, let me hear your opinions. Do you think Man United top 7 this season, or do you think we'll finish in the bottom half again? Whether you're a United fan or whether you're just a football fan in general, would love to hear that. We have to finish top 7 or Ruben has to go, in my opinion. We have lesser games to play than anyone else, and the squad is good enough. Yeah, listen, if you spend, £200 million, basically, on your attack, and you're not pushing into the top half of the table, there's got to be conversations. There has to be conversations. Had you had got Belieber in there as well, and a big goalkeeper like a Donnarumma, Jory's still out, obviously, on Saint Le Mans. We'll see what happens with him. I think you'd be asking to push into the top 4, top 6, bare minimum. So, yeah, I think 8th to 10th. But, yeah. The other hot take that we had on the screen as well was Lisandro Martinez's position will be taken by Lenny Yoro because of his injuries. Now, Lenny Yoro, for me, plays on the right side. That's his spot. No one better than him in that area. He's been one of our best players since he's joined the club. That is his. That's just not even a conversation about that. Anyone who's watched Man United in the past year or so, Lenny Yoro has been really consistent. He had that one game against Southampton where Slimani gave him a bit of a run around, but apart from that, he's been ice cold, basically, on the ball, off the ball, duels, everything. Even in the air, scoring a couple of headers. He's been really, really good. So Lenny Yoro's got a spot in that team for me anyway. It's more when you go over to the left side of the 3 centre-backs, whose is that position? Because Shaw has started the season and Shaw's looked pretty good. So it seems like he's first choice. When Heaven came in against Grimsby, there's still a lot of work for me with Aidan Heaven. He's very, very raw. I think he has the ability to become a decent centre-back. But again, things that I was touching on before, like first touch and just awareness at times and just, yeah, schoolboy stuff a little bit. But there's going to be schoolboy stuff because he's literally 18. So I'm not being too harsh on the kid. I just think, like, there's levels to go. And then Lissandro's one of the best ball-playing centre-backs in Europe for me. He had so much, and before he got injury, he was doing so well for us. You know, he was pressing into areas, carrying the ball, getting goals, getting assists for the Ahmad in the Manchester derby. He scored against Fulham, scored against Liverpool at Anfield. He was doing well, but then with Lissandro, off the ball, I don't think he's quick enough defending channels. I don't think if you was going to go out and buy a centre-back for that role, you wouldn't go and buy specifically Lisandro Martinez for that role. Lenny Yoro fits that role a lot better, and he's decent on the ball. So for me, I wouldn't play Leacher there anyway. But there's not wrong with that. You can still have players who can rotate and come into that position when needed. I'm not saying he's an outcast. There's just a rotational option, and that's fine. And that as well because of his injuries, you know? So I think that's absolutely okay. It just depends how he comes back. Sometimes they don't look the same, do they? When they come back from big knee injury. I mean, he's had 3 or 4 now. He's had like an Achilles injury. He's had a knee injury. Is it a metatarsal injury that he's had as well? So he's fucking full legs, like a game of operation, basically, at this point. But I love him. I love the character. I love his personality. I love his leadership on the pitch. He just has to stay fit, man. He has to stay on the pitch. I mean, I heard reports rumour before that Mason Mount's going to be out for a bit. I don't know how true they are because the source was a little bit like you dodgy ketchup in the cupboard. But if that's true as well, it's another one like you keep relying on him and then they keep going out. So as a team, you can't have that. You need players who are available week in, week out. And that's almost a flaw in us with someone like Dalot because Dalot is always available, but he's such a mid player. You don't want him in the team, but you have to select him because we don't have anyone else. So tricky. Very, very tricky. If you can, please do leave a like on the video for us and subscribe to the channel, people. Even if you're on TikTok, we are currently on at the minute 26,223 subscribers. 26,223. So we're pushing towards 30k. If there's anyone on here who hasn't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do. And I'm going to wrap the show up with the couple bits of news surrounding United because there wasn't enough to do a show. Hence why I've done hot takes, but there was little bits that we can kind of go through. So Romano was reporting before that Ruben Amorim is very clear who he wants to play, or who wants to play must perform at the best level. This is the reason why Onana has been put to second choice because he's just not performing at the levels, and Altai has been better. Other reasons, perhaps potentially with Luke Shaw playing in the left-sided centre-half because he's been playing the best. Bruno Casemiro, although it's not an ideal partnership, seems to be a better partnership than the other ones that we've tried, whether it's been Kobe and Ugarte or whatever it's been. Patrick Dorgu's the standout at wing-back. And then it's going to be Mbumo starting on the right-hand side, 9 times out of 10, and Cunha on the opposite side. So you've got to play well. That's just a given anyway, isn't it, in football in general? Like, you play well, you start. That's why Mason Mount's been playing the most minutes as well, because he's been one of the best players. So, yeah. Apparently as well, Sir Jim Ratcliffe was involved in the decision not to let Kobbie Mainoo go out on loan. Was involved in the decision not to let Kobbie Mainoo out. Right, so again, this goes back to the ownership thing for me. I don't really like it when owners get involved in these kind of situations. Like, leave that to your Jason Wilcoxes, to your Christopher Vels, them kind of people you put in charge. I don't like him getting involved because he's not a football man. He's a sport man, and he's been successful with certain things, with cycling and stuff. But you are not a football purist. I would keep people like that away. That's why we fucked up so much with the Woodward situation and Arnold. Like, they didn't have a clue about football. I'm not saying Jim Ratcliffe doesn't have a certain depth of knowledge. Of course he does, but I don't want him involved in those kind of situations. And Kobbie in general anyway, I want to keep him at the club because I think he's a super talented player there. I've told everyone about my thoughts before about him. I think he's got special talent and he's got a huge future. But we need to see him more. We need to see him more. And I think this midfielder role at United at the minute is there's a certain demand from him, and whether he can grow into that role or not. I don't know. We'll see what happens. And lastly, Man United players away on international duty this break. You got Ahmad, Altay, Sesko, Bruno, Dalot, and Bumo and Onana, Casemiro, Lenny Yoro. By the way, is playing for the under-21s. I think he needs to call up to the main team. I know France have a wealth of options at centre back. I know obviously they've got players like Saliba and stuff who play at the back. Upamecano, I don't know if he's still in the picture. I don't rate him anyway, necessarily. But let's have a look, actually. Who are France's centre-backs? I'm trying to think who's the other centre-back that plays for him. Pavard, will it be? Maybe like an experienced one? Don't tell me, people, because I want to... Let's call full match schedule. So, against Germany, who started for him? Lucas Hernandez and Balde. You fucking what? And Lenny Yoro's going to fucking under-21s. Are you having an absolute laugh? Mate, that is criminal, if that's... Who played against Spain when they got, 5-4? Canate. Okay, Longley. Fair enough. Canate, I rate, even though the start of the season has been very, very dodgy. Longley as well. But that's what I'm saying. If players like Longley are getting minutes for fucking France, why is Lenny Yoro not? He's been really, really good for us and deserves a call up. So hopefully that'll happen. Lineups for that game: Upamecano, Saliba. Yeah, okay. So France, you won't be watching Didier Deschamps. Lenny Yoro, get him in that team. He's mustard, mate. I'm telling you right now. So he's playing for under-21s. De Ligt is another one as well who Koeman does not seem to fancy him at Netherlands for whatever reason. Doesn't seem to fancy him. Goes for more experienced options than De Vrij, Ake, or I don't know. I've not watched Netherlands for a bit, but I've just know De Ligt doesn't play for him on a consistent basis. And they play with a back three as well, which is playing at United now. So hopefully the coach trusts him a little bit more there. You've got Gyokeres going out with Uruguay, and then Patrick Dorgu with Denmark as well. So yeah, expect more kind of shows like this over the next couple of weeks. The transfer window shut. There's no football. There's going to be, a variety of shows coming your way. Fun, interactive stuff. Because let's be honest, everyone's bored out of the fucking minds when there's any football on. So we're going to try and make this channel as creative, as fun, as interactive as possible. Appreciate the amount of you that have tuned in tonight live on TikTok and YouTube. Please do hit that subscribe button. Please do check us out on socials as well for all the news surrounding United. Trust me, anyone who follows on Instagram will see. And also, you might have noticed that we're wearing the new merch, or I'm wearing the new merch at the minute. And the Capybara hat, Capybara, you see what we did there? Excuse me. We also have the hoodie. And we also have a nice little mug as well, as you can see there. You can have a nice little cup of tea, coffees, water, if you're a boring cunt. I'm joking. But yeah, all this will be dropping very, very soon. We'll have a special package dropping, promos, all that kind of jazz. Keep an eye out for that. If you are a real Red Ultra on the YouTube channel, you will get priority before other people, just because you support the channel. I'm not saying other people haven't, but just in different ways. And yeah, I think I can leave it at that, people. Appreciate you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please do. And yeah, I'll see you in the chat. I'll see you on socials. See you in a bit.